Awesome. So would you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Sure, I'd love to. My name is Daniel Welch. I was born in Denver, Colorado. I lived there for about 40 years. Absolutely beautiful state. I love it there. I'd like to work my way back there someday. Uh, I have been an industrial custodian for about 20 years now. There is no type of cleanable space I have not cleaned. Uh, I first originally started off with floor care. Uh, I have earned my industrial housekeeping apprenticeship with the U.S. Department of Labor, 2,000 hours required. I am bloodborne pathogen certified. I have my OSHA 10 qualifications, and I have my NCCER card, which is basically serves as an apprenticeship for construction safety. And I have about 10 years floor care experience. Don't let most employers know that you have floor care experience because they will use you. I've done such good floors that I've had people take pictures of them and place them in magazines. So I greatly excel wherever I go. I'm good at what I do, but it's something that's starting to become a little old. I'd like it to go through a career change, and I'm definitely taking the steps necessary. I'm learning a lot over the last specifically 2 months, and I'm excited.
So would you mind telling the audience and myself about what's the new thing that's going on?
Sure, I would love to. It is a company called On Passive. Uh, I I personally became a founder of the company in June of 2022, and it has been the absolute most amazing journey to me. I have so many words that I could say. Um, I mean, just in the relationships, friendships, and what I feel to be family now that has been developed, you can't put a price tag on that. I have made friends with people in many countries all across the world. Many of them have invited me into their own homes. Uh, it's for people all over the world to express kind of such a love and a unwavering support like that. It speaks volumes of their character and their culture. So to me, that's invaluable. And that doesn't even touch base on the skill set the skill sets that it's helped me develop. My communication skills have developed because I'm required to communicate in multiple different languages in multiple different time zones. And even though I still don't understand some of the languages, I do communicate in Bengali, I communicate in Hindi, I communicate in Czech, I communicate in French, I communicate in Spanish, and I even did Vietnamese once during one conversation. So it's a challenge.
So I understand that unpassive is more a humanitarian enterprise instead of a profit field company. Would you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I absolutely agree, and that's one of the things that has really piqued my interest with the on passive community is that we all really do want to bring a change. And I feel that there has been people who has wanted to keep us separated through cultures and through belief systems. But I can see that many people from all around the world are ready for a change. And I can visibly see people putting what used to be previous disagreements and perspectives aside, and we're all taking the time to get to learn each other and who we are and what our interests are, even to the point we're inviting each other to each other's countries to come visit. So, as far as from a humanitarian standpoint, I believe we all have the correct mindset. I believe we all have the correct spirit. And I believe once we all have a little more resources to help, that's where the real humanitarian efforts will come in.
I mean, I'm personally experienced that even though I'm not a founding member technically, I feel so at home with my own family.
Yeah. And and that's what's been mentioned in our O Connect meetings for at least a month now is that everybody feels welcomed. They don't feel pressured in any way. And that's what's been making people so comfortable who used to not be comfortable turn on their camera and introduce themselves. So it's a wonderful spirit that's taking root within inside.
That's awesome. So, what's the main thing you want people to know about you personally and what you do with unpassive?
That's a good question. For me personally, um, there's two primary areas I would like to focus on to bring change. Um, the first one would be social injustices. I feel that's a very big problem within inside of our communities and cultures. By perceiving somebody as different or by um, kind of ostracizing a certain group unfairly. There's a lot of social injustice, and a lot of it stems from our current legal systems and the corruption that we have inside those legal systems. It can be used in malicious ways for merely monetary gain, and it's a change that needs to occur. And then the other thing I feel I would like to be able to make some type of impact with is bringing some type of prosperity to poor geographical regions. I have a friend of mine named Matende. He lives in Ghana. I've known the guy for about 3 years now. We've become friends. He first when he first introduced himself, like unlike so many others throughout the world, he never once asked me for money. He never asked for money, even for about the 6 months I knew him. He never asked for resources. He never asked for assistance of any kind. His only communication with me for the first several months was how my mom was doing, how my day was, what work was like. And then the day he popped into my inbox and mentioned that he had an organization that he was trying to use to help orphan children. We see a lot of those around, right? But it was 6 months into us knowing each other, and his only request was that he had some scammers who had gotten into his Facebook page and group, and they were attempting to scam people from the group, and asked me if I could help identify them and get them blocked out of the his page so he could resume his activities. And that was his only request because he had been kind of following me with some of the other things. I became involved in some scams and had some money stolen myself. So I agreed. I got in, he invited me as admin. I started poking my nose around a little bit, identified which profiles were the scamming profiles. I got them blocked out. We ran a couple test posts. Everything seemed to be fine over a course of about 2 weeks. He thanked me, and then that's when he told me about his organization. And the only thing that he asked for were medical supplies, clean water, and Bibles. That's all he asked for, which is a lot. That and the Bibles kind of is what stuck out to me is when he asked for Bibles. He said, "Send as many Bibles as you can." And so I took an interest in Matende. I took an interest, and he even allowed me to create the name. I forget the name it used to be. It was about 2 years ago, but we have since renamed it Bridged with Hope. Bridged with Hope organization, spelled with an S because Z was taken. Somebody had already created Bridged with Hope organization with a Z, so we had to use S. But um, I become really passionate about those two subjects, and I I I intend on using on passive as a more safe and secure platform where we have to verify our own identities through not only our personal identification but through facial identity scan. Um, we will be able to have a safer place to be able to conduct any potential fundraising or supply chain endeavors. We won't have to worry, become less likely to be subject to any type of interference. And I will have a whole community worldwide of like-minded people who want to put an end to corrupt public officials who abuse their positions and abuse the finances and the resources for fancy trips and the stories we've heard. Um, that well, I'll finally be connected in with a good group of like-minded people who want to bring that same type of change and uh, make small steps to start changing them. I'm not out to change the world, but if I can change just a few persons' worlds a week, I'm doing my job.
Absolutely. And so, and the CEO of Unpassive is Ash Mubarak, correct?
Correct. His name is Ash Mufara. Great guy. I support him.
Could talk a little bit about him and his mission.
Sure, I'd love to. I have been quietly observing Ash Mufara for the last year. I believe he has a great standard of integrity. Um, he's very straightforward. He's he can remain very calm when under pressure. Um, and he truly does have a heart for people. Um, I would like to be able to take the time to be able to get to know him a little better. I know many people clamor for his attention. The chances would be probably kind of small. But from what I can, from my observations up to this point, he's accomplished many things that other people have not. And I believe because he is accomplishing such great things and attempting to implement a clean system where we can all use and be a little safer, there's many people who are attempting to discredit him, discredit his name, and discredit on passive. But I can assure you, just from what I've seen, that's not going to happen. I fully believe in on passive, and with them putting on events from all over the world, having multiple offices in what 6 countries now. That's just the start. And so um, I stand side by side with Ash. I see the vision. For me personally, it doesn't matter to me when paid products might be released. Just with the products in and of themselves, I feel they are above market value for what they have to offer, and I am ready to start meeting the people who made it possible. I'm ready to start meeting the people who have been involved in showing me an unwavering amount of support. I really have a difficult time expressing the words in clarity when I try to communicate the gratitude that I have, that I now have these um, people from all over the world who want to meet me, and I want to meet with them. Um, uh, it's hard to come up with the words, but I guess I could take this opportunity to say that the $97 that I paid for my foundership, I could repay that every day over the span of an entire universe's lifetime, and I would still never compensate the value I have received.
Absolutely. Like they are, and this company, as far as I've experienced, is about human connection. And that's why it's called No Connect.
That's right. And if it wasn't being for being in, if it wasn't for being involved with On Passive in the community, I never would have met the Mighty Miracle Man.
Just have to be a little cheeky. Mm. So we're about at the end of our discussion here. What's one thing you want to leave people with to ponder and implement in their lives?
That's a good question. The one thing I would like to leave everyone with is to do just one thing a day to improve yourself in some kind of way. Whether it be if you want to be healthier, do one thing each day that'll make you healthier. If you want to develop a different skill, do one thing, even if it's only for 5 minutes. Because that one, even just simple 5 minute step could pay off in so many different ways at a later time. So,
Just pay dividends. Like if my experience, if you invest in yourself with skills, those skills pay off way more than you paid up front. And so it's like dividends.
it really is, yes.
Thank you so much for your time, Daniel. I hope you